right, what's going on, y'all? Fresh Essence here, and I am back with my Auburn recruiting series. We are now in season 3 of the 5-Star NCAA Online Dynasty League that I am in. As you can see, we're in week 0, so we're just about to go through my recruiting board. So what happened was last week in the preseason, I set my board, I offered scholarships and everything, and I set my board how I wanted to. But for some reason, when we advanced, including mine, but a lot of user teams, their boards just reset and it was empty in week 0. And in week 0, you don't have as many hours as you have in the preseason, because the preseason is for adding people to your board and using all those hours for scouting and for offering scholarships. So I had to do all of that in week 0 with less hours, which kind of irritated me, but it's all good. So I've already allocated my hours and done my board and everything. I didn't get a chance to rescout anybody. So I'm going to try to tell you what these players' attributes were as I go through the list. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into it. So like I said, I already allocated my board. I tried my best to remember who I had on my board. I think I got most of the people that I remembered from when I did it in the preseason. I definitely remember most of my top 10. I remember them distinctly because most of them are 5 stars. So I remember these guys. So I remember him, Stephen Hyman. He's definitely the number one person on my board because he had 97 speed. I'm not going to scout him again, but I remember he had 97 speed, like 93 agility, and he had like, I think maybe silver side step, stuff like that. So I'm going to keep him on my board. This guy, he was a 92 speed, I think around there, 92 speed middle linebacker. So I'm definitely going to keep him on my board. This guy, I can't remember exactly what his speed was, but I know it was like 95 plus. So of course he's on my board. Got him at 60 hours, competing with some guys for him. So we'll see how it goes. This guy here, of course, as I say in all of my videos, run stopper middle linebackers, cheat codes, cheat codes, cheat codes. This guy had 90 plus speed. I can't remember what else he had, but yeah, he's gonna be a dog. I think he had a couple physical abilities. I think he had like wrap up and one other one, wrap up and hammer, which is pretty standard for the high ranking athletic middle linebacker. So he's basically a carbon copy of the athletic middle linebacker I got last year, Anthony Stokes. He's basically the exact same prospect, same speed and everything. So next, this guy, I can't really remember much about him. I just remember he was the number 1 player. So I was like, okay, I'll go after him. Next, I think I remember this guy being a bust, but as I've said before, 5-star busts can still be pretty good players. So I kept him on my board. Next, can't really remember much about him. I just remember he was on my board. So he was on my board for a reason. So I re-added him. I remember he was on my board as well. I think he has like 95 plus speed, if I remember correctly. So I brought him back to my board. This guy, I remember I had him on board because he was fast and no one else was going after him. So I brought him back. This guy, I remember recruiting him. He was a 93 speed power back. So I was like, yeah, I got to have him on my board. I'm not going to be competing with too many teams. Only one user team so far, which is Georgia. And I have a higher influence tier than Georgia. So I may be able to definitely win this battle. So we're going to see. Okay, next. That's the only thing. I couldn't remember what quarterbacks I had on my board. And I don't really need a quarterback. So I may just take quarterbacks off my board just to be safe, because I just got a 5-star last year and I got a 5-star the year before that. So I don't really need another quarterback. So I may take him off my board, but we'll see. I think I remember having this guy on my board, so I'll put him back on it. I definitely remember him because I think he had 95 throw power. I think he had one level of field general. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been gold or platinum. So I put him back on my board. This may be the quarterback I just bring in because I don't need another quarterback, and I may go ahead and just take this other quarterback off. Where's he at? I may just go ahead and take him off. I think the only thing that he didn't have high speed, but that's okay. I may just allocate these hours somewhere else. Okay. Let me bring these guys up. I think I am missing some people because I think my previous board was 31 targets, but only 25 scholarships. So now I only got 18 scholarships put out. So I'm definitely missing some people out on my board, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. I'll go gym hunting at the end of the season like I did last year, and maybe I'll be able to replace some of those guys. Okay. So this left tackle here, yeah, most of these guys I can't exactly remember. These two centers, I do remember both of them. I think they were both studs, so I brought them back on my board. I remember he was pretty good, so I brought him back. I remember he was a pretty fast corner, so I brought him back as well. And of course, athletic middle linebacker, run stopper, gotta add him to the board. Let me go ahead and find someone to add these hours to. Man, I'll add him to the top guy. I'm just going after him because he's the #1 recruit. Like I said, I can't remember how good he was. I don't think he was like that a blowing me away prospect. But hey, I'm just going after him because I do need an outside linebacker. I'll put 5 more hours here for the #1 right tackle, even though he's a bust. Okay. So yeah. Oh, and actually to confirm my suspicions, like I told y'all before about the playing time tab. So let's see. Okay. So Hyman's gonna be a good guy, and then everybody else is gonna have some room to grow. Yeah, that's okay. That's about right. Yeah. B minus grade. So he's not gonna start immediately, but he's gonna be a good receiver eventually. So is Kilpatrick. And we B A plus, A plus. Okay, yeah. Okay, I definitely remember them. A plus and a B. D Mahoney, A Zimmer, Sis Barrett Torres. Okay, so Sisk and Torres. I may take. Yeah, I think Burnett's just a backup, but I really want Sisk and Torres. Apple C plus. Tam A minus. Okay, yeah, those definitely the two defensive ends I had on the board. Now recruiting at DT this year because I got 2 last year and 2 the year before that, so I don't need a defensive tackle at all. Even though it says I need one, I have 4 freshmen, 2 redshirt and 2 true freshmen. I don't need another defensive tackle. I'm cool. I'm not gonna waste my hours on that. Plus, I don't use defensive tackles that much anyway. I usually put defensive ends at my rush D tackle spot anyway, so the D tackles don't get that much playing time unless you're like an absolute beast, which I'm hoping that they turn into the guys that I have. Yeah, F Deal, R Funches, yep, and A Tuckle, yep, and then D Smith is the one I haven't put any hours on. I'm pretty sure. Blumenmeyer is not really like a blowing away prospect, but he's the #1 prospect, so I'm sure he's gonna become good eventually. Cornerback K Smith. So my board is pretty much the same as it was before, but I am missing out on some prospects, and I hate that I can't rescout these guys. But like I said, I do remember that these guys are good. So just trust me on this. Maybe later on into the season when I start getting recruits in, I'll scout some of them just to confirm. But either way, we'll see once I bring them in. That's pretty much it. It's week 0. I don't have a game, but I do play. Oh, let me tell you about this schedule, bro. This schedule, they trying to kill me. I only had 5 home games last year. I have 5 again this year, 7 road games. And look at my road games at USC, at Florida State, at Georgia, at Texas, at Bama. Come on, like they really upset at me for getting those 9 5 stars last year. They trying to be like, okay, you got them 5 stars. Huh? Let's see how good your team is. So we're gonna see. I'm looking forward to the challenge, but it's like, bro, come on, at least give me 6 home, 6 away instead of 7 away games and 5 home games. That's the same amount I had last year. Like, bro. So I'll talk to my commissioner in the off season. After this season, the schedule's already made now, so I'm not running from the challenge. But it's like, bro, come on now. Like, only 5 home games again, but it's all good. I have the confidence now in my ability that I feel like I can win most of, if not all of these games. I went 11-4 last year. 1 loss was in the playoffs, so I went 9-3 in the regular season and got 2 playoff wins. So I think I can replicate that again. I think I can get less than 3 losses. I think potential losses are at USC and at Georgia, but I think I can win every other game and well at Bama. So those are the 3 that I'm scared of. Everyone else, I beat Florida State in the playoffs last year, so I know I can beat them again. So I'm not scared of losing that one. And then I beat Florida before, never played Miami, so I'm not sure. And I destroyed Texas last year, so maybe he's gotten better. So we'll see. But his schedule it's grueling, man. It's terrible. So if I can make it out of this with 3 losses or less, I think I'll be all right. So we'll see. So yeah, that's it. Thank y'all for watching. I'll holler at y'all next time.